All right, we're facing off the last of the uprights here, and then we'll go in and we'll give them a quick sanding on the end, and then we're going to start putting the hole for the trunnion on the side. Now we're just using our turbo end mill just like we did on the rest of them, on our other. When we hit it on the sander, we'll be able to dress that off to where it's almost smooth. Now I left this overall dimension 5/1000ths proud of the 2 1/4, so we're like 2 inches 260 to 2 inches 255 in that ballpark. But there's you know, the turbo end mill leaves a little bit of a raised surface, and I can get 5 out of that on the sander real quick. I did it that way because I needed to remove the material and I needed to speed up my process here. And so anyway, I'm going to go dress these off in the other room, and then we're going to come back and we're going to start putting that hole in there for the trunnion. All right. All right, we're up here. This is item 7, I guess, the end block. The trunnion pivot in this position here. We just finished facing them all off. 2 inch and a quarter, or 2 1/4 inch in height. They are 2 inches wide. That's the raw stock, and they're 1/2 inch thick. All right, this whole location is center side to side, and we're shooting for 1 3/4 inches on the height. It does say 1 inch 758, but somebody just got a little carried away putting that in there. So anyway, we're gonna zero in on our hole right now. Now we're set up, and we got our block or our stop back here. We're using the clamp again, and that's how we did. We came in with our turbo end mill, and we faced off to our length or our height. When it's laying down, it's a length. When we stand it up, it's a height, right? Okay, that's long. This is high. So anyway, we're going to come over here, and we got our edge finder. We're going to pick it up, and we're going to come on up 1 3/4 inches and over from our stop. We're still dialed into our vise itself, so we can come over from that, and we'll start poking that hole in there. We're going to do the hole before we come in on the top. On the top, you can see that there's a oil hole, and I simply put that in with a center drill. Kind of made the cup and the hole all at one time, so the dimensions aren't exact. They don't have to be exact to these points here. You know, this right here, the hole is actually 1/8 with 3/8 countersink or chamfer. It just means basically put yourself a good diameter that you can drop in a couple drops of oil with the squirt can and get the oil flowing down into the trunnion area so that it doesn't rust up. Okay, we put in our edge finder here, and we come on over 1 inch. Inch will be in the center of that plate. There we are there. That's locked, that's locked. We'll loosen this one up here. Okay, come on down. All right, we're going to come on in just until it kicks. There we go. We'll set 0. All right, try it again. Okay, it repeated. All right, there's our 1/4 inch offset there. Zero that back out. Now we're centered to that. And here again, we go ahead and we put in our tap follower just because it's a nice piece. Boom, it's 0. All right, we come on over right to our 1 3/4 inches right there. We verify it right here. All right, we're there. All right, we grab our 1/4 inch drill bit, and we're going to do the same thing as we've done with all the other 5/8 holes, except for the reamer. I think we're going to step up the reamer to give it a little bit more clearance. We want to make sure that we don't have a tight hole. This is the first time we're going to want a loose hole. Alright, so let's get cutting oil the right direction. And we're still using the X against our stop there. We kind of know which way it's going, but we want to make sure that we keep the top. We'll make sure each one of them is darkened so we can set back in there. And we'll go through and we'll finish drilling all 12 of these. Alright, we finished our 1/4 inch hole. We went over to our Leslie sharpener there, and we went ahead and dressed up this this tool bit here, and we're going to check and see how it does on cutting. I was pulling 2 chips at once, staying pretty tight. We lessened our drill angle too on it from its original grind. It had a little bit sharper one. That one was starting to pull a chip off of one side more than the other. It wasn't drilling an oversized hole, but it was getting pretty big. Anyway, we're going through and we're going to be poking these holes in here. Let me just see. Get some chips off of here, and we'll pull this one out and just see how close we are. And we're about 607 thousandths. It's a pretty good size. The one that we drilled where it was opened up a little bit is 613 thousandths. So we just wanted a little bit more material on our hole to ream, and we'll go on through the rest of these and bring them on out to this diameter. Okay, we found this Yankee reamer, 0.6299. Okay, this Yankee reamer should put a Whistle Dixie slip fit on that pinhole in here. And we'll go ahead and we'll come on up a little bit here. Okay, what we got on speed? We got that's a little fast. Okay, let's bring her on down here. Okay, that's 80 RPMs. That's the slow speed on a Bridgeport belt drive J head. All right, little air. Okay, let's check our fit. Oh yeah. We're gonna love that. All right, I'm gonna set that over here like that. I'm gonna put in another one here so we can get a pair of them on there. There we go. Alright, see, we can probably, I'll be able to set it right up here like that. There we go. Awesome. This is where you want, I mean, we're gonna actually be welding these riser blocks to the base plate. Okay, I'm gonna set on here. I'm getting used to that now because I stamped this and I want my stamping to be vertical, not upside down. All right. Want that to be nice and free swinging. And then that way, no matter what contour we're going to be using our rollers on, we're able to have an easy swing, so it'll self-align itself with the axles or the shaft that we're going to be rolling on these. All right, I'm going to finish reaming the rest of them, and then we're going to decide what we want to do. No, we're going to go ahead and ream the rest of these, and then we're going to drill the oil hole. Then we'll decide what we're going to do or how we're going to put the radius on the corners at the top. Okay, I got this set up here before we go for the oil hole on the top, because I just wanted to, we're in line with this hole, so I put a chamfer tool in here so we can break a nice sharp edge, remove anything. We're just giving it like, 30 thousandths, something like that. Okay, we pulled out the parallels, the springs we had holding that, and we vacuumed up and we wiped this out. This is pretty clean here now. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to drop down in the top of here, and we're going to give that oil passage, which is just going to be a center center drill hole down through there, and putting enough diameter on the top to where we're comfortable to have a little cup, V cup, for a couple drops of oil, so that we keep oil when we want it to get into the trunnion here. Alright, now I can't just crank my vise in here because it's going to want to hit my stop. And I want my stop to remain there because I don't have to do anything except for go to my readout and come out a 1/4 inch and come over an inch, and we should be right on our mark. Alright, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put in a spacer to take up the space here, but I know that we're going to be, I knew there was a little chip in there. I was getting a rocking action there. Okay, we're going to be open and closing the vise, and we're going to be swapping this part out. So I want my spacer to be able to stay here. So I'm going to make an attempt to actually soft glue it to this face here. And what I like to use is what we refer to as monkey shit. And the last piece of monkey shit I got was a length of, and what it is it's all-purpose caulking, and in the shipyards it was plentiful, it was always around, but that's what the nickname was on there. So I still have a little wad, pretty good sized chunk when I first got it, and that was 1992, 93 when I got my last chunk of monkey shit. All right, so I've been kneading that, just meaning softening it up. All right, now I'm just going to kind of flatten it out a little bit, because it's going to squish out to like micro thin. I'm going to pinch off 2 pieces here, and of course I got to reach in here because I have a bolt that goes in for my jaw here, and I'm just going to put a little piece on each side here, and then I'm going to drop this in here, and we're going to tighten this up. See, it's starting to squeeze out the side there. This is like Danger Cream, okay? That's the same principle. I just want that jaw to stay there. And alright, so we squeeze out. You can put this back in with the rest of your collection of monkey shit. you know, it's running low on there. We might have to get another some on this side here too. Not worrying about it. All right. Does it hold the jaw there? Pull it out, put it in, tighten it, pull it out. All right. Does it handle air? Yeah, handles air. All right. I think we're gonna let it run like that. And now all we need to do is go ahead and pick it. Now on the drawing there, this center drill here, this is a number 4. It is pretty close to 1/8 of an inch pilot on there, and its diameter is almost 5/16. So that's pretty close to, I think, what's on the drawing. All right, let's go ahead and we're gonna change up speeds here. There we go. Okay, what we found now was our part was lengthwise before, and now it's widthwise, and the 1/4 inch that we had there, and so our reading had to come over to 1/250, and then that actually puts us exactly on line. So we still didn't have to mark anything. We thought we were gonna have to put a line. By the time I grabbed it, I kind of figured out what happened, and we're just putting the part in sideways versus lengthwise. Pretty easy little setup right now. The original length, or the drawing width at the top, said 3/8, but I'm pretty sure it was just a 5/16 there, and it could have been worn. Okay, we got one more, and then we'll be switching over to a radius cutter. Alright, just getting ready to pull this out, and I thought you'd want to see how well monkey shit holds. Okay, I can't push that out, so I'm going to put the butt into my hammer here, and I'm going to give it a little thump here. There we go. Okay, and see it really does it spreads out real thin there, and same thing here. I think it actually works better than Denja cream. I wouldn't use old monkey shit though. I'd buy some new. Alright, now we're ready to set up for the next thing, and that is to go ahead and put the radius on the corner. Okay, we cleaned up all the parts. I mean, we're doing 3 sets, so there's 4 to a set. So we got 1.5 sets here, 1.5 sets here, and we decided to go ahead and run all of them in the vise at the same time. So we can hold all of those over to the square on that side. And we'll put all of them to the square on that side. Now I see one out of line right here, and I got to see if there's a chip or something underneath it. And yes, the chip is underneath. Okay. Well, that was pretty neat. You could actually see that. Okay, those look good. Those look good. We tighten them up lightly. Give them a good look. Close enough by eye. Close enough by eye. Alright, those are all in there locked down. Now we've got our radius tool already in here. This is a 1/4 inch radius cutter. And we're going to go ahead and come on over here, and we're going to bring it on down. We're touching the flat there, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to raise that up about 10 10,000ths or so, just so I'm not going to be close to it on most of them here. We're going to take a, I'll go ahead and I'll bring it up a little bit more, just be on the safe side. All right, set that for 0. I think we're on a pretty good speed there. We're running at 210. Gonna put some cutting oil on my surfaces here. Sulfur based cutting oil is what I use. I get asked all the time. Okay, I'm just eyeballing at center. I'm choosing to start here. We're going to come down this one, go up that one, come over this one, go up that one. Just a figure 8. All right, we came out past this one. And we're going to come to this outside here. And there we go. And we're going to put a little brake on it. You see how that jumped? Because we're trying to climb mill. Instead, we're going to come over this one and we're going to come out. Conventional mill. Old mills with too much play, you play havoc doing a climb mill. You're going to want to, it's going to want to pull your machine into the cut. Looks like we'll be able to do this in 2 passes. I'm coming over and I'm catching close to the vertical, and I'm about 30 thousandths from going all the way down. So we got the lower part of the radius. So when I bring it in for the next pass and I bring in the top down closer, we'll make that radius more full. Okay, come to the outside. Okay, we brought her down. She's still not quite all the way down, about 5,000, 10 thousandths off of the top here. But that curve or that radius there is going to be good enough. Well, we're going to kiss them, dress them in the sander before we do any welding, so we can blend some of that in there. Okay, we already came down one side, but we have 6 bottoms, which makes 3 sets, and we took them in the sander and we kind of just rolled over the edges along the sides and along the ends. We didn't do any facing, but we lined them all up with a square as best we could, and we're cutting the chamfer down the side. We're going to dress the rest of these off in the sander, and there's no machine work other than just breaking the corner with this radius cutter here, and this is a 1/4 inch radius tool here. So this is the second pass. We'll flip it over and we'll do the other 2 on the other side. We just got back out here after dinner, and we had been working on the base plate, and we did all the radiuses on the edges here, but we didn't do any machining on the end. We just came in here and we sanded it and brought a nice clean sand finish to it, and then dressed it off, rounded it this way here on these sharp edges of the flat, and they're doing fine. Now we're kind of like doing the final dressing on the trunnion support, and we're just rolling it, breaking that corner right there, both sides. And then once around, now there's no sharp edges on that at all. So we got 1, we got 8 more of these to do. I turn it over and I do the same thing, so I keep the contact equal, so it's the same break or radius up here as it is down here. And of course, rolling it around the corner lets you get that broke there. So they're nice and clean, finished looking parts. Even though we face this off with a turbo end mill, we still got a really nice looking part. But my Wilton also kind of helps the case here.